Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Stamp With Us podcast, and I am here with
Simon Hurley.
And we are going to be having a nice, relaxing day of painting pumpkins on today's podcast. Last week we had Christopher Allen on, and we interviewed him, and now we're just going to sit back, relax, and do some holiday crafting.
Definitely. It's always fun to sit down and just chat, maybe talk about a little crafting, talk about a little Halloween fun for the spooky season, and let's get into it.
And this is a lot less messy than carving pumpkins, so
yes.
That's what we're going to do. I got these pumpkins from Pick and Save, and this one has a bunch of blue on it because I tried to color it in with a Copic marker, and it did not work. So we're going to be painting them. And then go to Simon's channel to check out a card making challenge that we did together, and it's really exciting, and it's going to be
so
really
much fun.
crazy. Yeah, we'll see how the projects turn out. That's all I'm going to say. So right here we have our tiny little pumpkins. We probably won't be covering them fully on the bottom, but that's okay because you guys won't see them. What colors are we using? What kind of paints are we using?
So we're using some Dina Wakley medium acrylic paint. It's just like a really heavy body thick paint that's really nice for, painting, but we're painting on pumpkins today.
Yeah. Okay, well, I am going to be making kind of a neon design because I thought it would go with my nails today. I know they're a little dramatic, but trust me, they'll go along perfectly with the pumpkin. I don't even know how to start this.
And I'm going to paint my little bear from my collection. His name's Artie. So if you guys are watching the podcast, you'll get to see us paint pumpkins. If not, you'll enjoy the next part, and we'll kind of just start chatting and telling some stories, which you guys can hear on the podcast.
Oh, first stroke.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
nervous. That paint's really nice.
I'm horrible at painting. Yeah, it's really thick, which is really nice. So it holds the stroke of it too if you want.
Oh, yeah. I remember I took a painting class in high school, and I remember I had to paint this person standing. They were facing a beach and stuff, and I got most of it down, but her hands were an abomination. I do not know how to draw hands at all.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I remember I got my rubric back from the grading, and they, our teachers aren't supposed to grade you on artistic talent, but I definitely lost some points on the hands because she was like, I don't know what you were trying to convey here, but it's not a hand.
Yeah, art class was so funny. I would always try acrylic painting too, and my teacher will tell you this too. I started off with brushes, and then I just ended up using my fingers.
Oh,
because
really?
I was better at finger painting, even in all the little details. I was better at finger painting than I was controlling the brush. And it might have been just the cruddy brushes that the schools have, but it was way easier for me to finger paint. But also they go through so many brushes because kids just love to ruin them. So.
Yeah, and they just
yeah.
Kids are disrespectful to the arts. I remember when I was little, my mom tried to figure out right away who was the artistic one in our family, and for a while they thought it was me because I was really into painting and Alicia really wasn't into a lot of art and stuff. But when we were babies, this was our first test of art, and my mom always said that she would set up all the finger paints on the ground, and she'd put us down, and what Alicia did when she saw the paints was she put her hand in it and immediately licked it. And so my mom was like, all right, I don't know what to make of that. Non-toxic paint.
Okay,
she's
good,
okay.
Good.
She's right here. She set everything up for us. She mixed some paint for us, so maybe, that gave her creative edge and taught her a little bit more. I
not mix colors.
put my hand in the paint and I started crying because I didn't like how the paint felt on my hand and I didn't know how to get it off my hand.
Oh my gosh.
Overall, it was not a successful art day in the
That's
Krupski
hilarious.
house.
I love how she tested to see who would be better at it.
Yeah, but sadly we both kind of had bad performances. So I'm just doing this pretty blue Gina K turquoise color. This is
nice.
actually called turquoise, and this is on the segment of the pumpkin that I tried to color in with a marker.
Cover that blue up.
Yeah, we'll just forget about it.
So it's beginning to be Halloween time right now. What is your favorite way of celebrating Halloween? Do you like it? Are you in the spirit of Halloween? Do you dress up a ton?
I take Halloween so seriously. I have recently, as an adult, really gotten into my costumes. When I was younger, I would go back and forth between really basic costumes and really fun ones. I was thinking today about this because I was trying to think of stories of Halloween. I remember I dressed up as this this like gory like bride
Oh
or
my
something,
gosh.
just like blood everywhere and stuff. And for the first like 2 hours of Halloween, I just laid on our front lawn and pretended to be like a decoration. But it ended up just wasting time, and everyone's like, "Yo, who's the kid just sitting there on your
You were
front
totally
lawn?"
just moving, but you thought you were so
Yeah, I
cool.
was like, I'm so cool right now. I'm gonna jump out and scare some kids. But everyone was just like, all right, let's not go to that house.
Oh my gosh.
There's some weirdo in the front lawn. But as I've gotten older, I really like to take Halloween seriously. Not last year, it was the year before, I dressed up as this character from Naruto, which is a show about ninjas. And I dressed up as this girl who has these eyes that, it's called a Byakugan. And her eyes allow her special power is that she can see 360 degrees around her. So I had these contacts in that make your eyes look white, because that's how her eyes looked. And the funny part of that is that I could see 0 degrees around me because I was so blinded by them. And I remember I had my normal contacts in and those contacts on top. So it definitely was a safety hazard already, but I had to get the look done. And I had to like see what I could, I couldn't be fully blind that night. So I remember I was at a party and I was sitting there with my contacts in, just trying, because I didn't realize how much you couldn't communicate to people without seeing them. And I was sitting there and I had like texted my friend. I was like, hey, are you still here? And then I hear, Rina. I'm like, what? And they're like, I've been standing next to you the entire time. Like,
oh my gosh.
You just haven't noticed. I was like, all right, I need to take these out.
That's hilarious. Yeah, we used to dress up a little bit more when we were little. I mean, okay, so at first when we were really little, we weren't allowed to trick or treat. But then my aunt actually owned a little costume shop. And so we would go in there and we would pick out like a costume each year. One year I was in this like full suit of Sully from Monsters, Inc., which was hilarious.
Oh my
I was just this
gosh.
little guy walking around with this giant costume, which was
It's probably warm too.
very warm.
Because Midwestern Halloweens, you have to wear a jacket under, no matter what you are. You wear that plus a jacket.
Oh, that I did not need a jacket. I was set for the night with that.
Yeah, that's smart.
I had to take it off a couple times because it got so hot in there.
This year, I am exceptionally excited for my Halloween costume. I have no idea what I'm doing yet. I really hope wherever I go, there's people in costume because I'm taking it very seriously. I am going to be SpongeBob from the SpongeBob SquarePants movie where he's singing Goofy Goober Rock, and he has this elaborate outfit on with like these. It's like glittering, there's peanuts on it, it's this big cape, and I'm actually going to be using a lot of deco foil, some of Simon Hurley inks to make it, and so I'm thinking about doing that for a video.
That would be
I don't know if that would interest anyone, but I do use like foils and stuff in it, so I think it would be fun. And it would allow me to do a video and get my Halloween costume done.
Which is always when you could do a video and make it for your real life, it's always a win.
It's always a bonus. That's another thing too that I did with videos is I would often like figure out my Christmas presents with them, and there's a lot you can do with stamping products to make like actual gifts for people. Like something that I want to do with my mandala maker stamp set is I want to make a bunch of my friends, and you guys can do this at home, you can make little stocking stuffer coloring books. You can make a bunch of different designs with your mandala and do it in like amalgam ink or an ink that doesn't smear with different coloring mediums, and you can use it and make little coloring books. I actually made one for my friend in Arizona, and she's really into coloring, and she really liked it, and
That's awesome.
she thought it was really fun.
Yeah, I think handmade gifts are so much fun, and so when you're able to like take products like that, or even like just stamps and able to stamp them out either as wrapping paper or different things like that, I think that's super cool, especially when you can get 2 things done at once, like doing a video with it too.
I love making my own wrapping paper because, once again, did it for a video last year. But also, like, my presents were all, like, coordinated.
Yeah.
And they, like, looked like me, kind of. It had my own, like, Rina theme going on. So I was really into it. And it was really fun to do because it was pretty easy to make with stamping. Like, you just basically make a background pattern, but, like, for an entire present. So I painted these nails this morning, and they're actually raging red if you look at them. I mean, it's hard to look away from them. But I want to expand that neon line a little bit bigger. I've been really loving the colors with it, and I think it could use a few more things to like match with it and make new products with it because I mean, obviously I'm biased because they're my inks, but I just have such a fun time making these bright, crazy patterns on like just white paper, and it makes like normally like really simple designs look really, really fluorescent and loud, and I just would really like to hopefully incorporate more of that into the future of my products. And I've been wanting to do another mandala maker set for a long time. I've been saying I've been going to, but your girl had 4 exams this week. She couldn't even breathe. So didn't happen this week, but it'll be coming at some point. I want to make like different themed mandalas. Like I want to have kind of like an Egyptian kind of themed one. I just want to have like certain elements from like different time periods and stuff. I think that would be really cool because a mandala, you can really make it anything you want. You just have to have the right shapes for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been doing some research. I'm in an art history class. I'm getting the little elements that I want from it.
Yeah, and I think that, like you said, the neon line of inks is really cool. I think that's like a really different thing. I haven't seen many of those. And so like even to expand that kind of line or even with different things in it, I think will be really cool to see how that grows, because you're right, those are like, they're fun to incorporate with anything else. Like they work perfect with my inks or Gina's inks, which is really cool that you can use them with other things and that they're not, something that somebody already has, which is cool.
And I think a lot of people are afraid of neon, which I get. It's insane. A lot of neon stuff is very out there and it makes you stick out. But I think it is just super fun and youthful, and it really just like draws your eye in. Like my nails right now, like I'm sure they're a little distracting, but I mean that's the point. I mean they want you to catch your eye, and like I think that more products down the line with like embellishments or something, or just add-ons that you can tie in that whole look together would be really cool.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a cool way, like you were saying, to do that. And I'm looking forward to another mandala maker too, because I love the wreath builder, and that's so much fun. I used your first mandala maker and a bunch of those patterns in it with some of my little critters, and it was so much fun because you can make like a fun little centerpiece and then put a critter kind of over top of it with that design going out, which is cool. I think for me this year, Simon Hurley Create was kind of like a test year for us. We were kind of still discovering the style of our products, but more than that, I'm still in school, so I didn't have like a ton of time to design a lot of products this year. We're actually done releasing products this year and kind of taking a little bit of a break, but
yes, treat yourself.
It's not a break though, because like I'm still designing a ton of stuff. So next year, there's gonna be so much fun stuff. I think we really have a theme now down, and more than that, we're gonna be releasing more products more rapidly next year. So like during certain holidays or things like that, we'll actually have collections specific to those holidays, which we didn't really do this year, but I think that'll be super cool. And we're also working on a couple new things other than just stamps and stencils and stuff like that, so it's really going to expand the line too, which I'm really excited about.
That'll be so cool. Yeah, you've come out with a lot this year, so
yeah,
you deserve a little bit of a break. But like honestly, you're never really like on a break. You're always thinking about something else. Like Christopher Allen said, he wakes up in the middle of the night and writes stuff down. There was a lot of things, after he said that, there was a lot of things this weekend where I was like, ooh, that'd be like cool like stamp or stencil. I actually pitched a stencil idea to my mom this morning. So,
nice.
That might be coming soon. We'll see.
That's awesome.
Another costume that my friends and I were gonna be was the cast of Mean Girls.
Oh my god!
But I was gonna be the mom with like the video camera in the back. Like, oh my gosh, I was just gonna follow them around all night with our old video camera and like carry Mishi in the purse.
I have some goofy questions.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. You're a new addition to the crayon box. What color would you be and why?
I feel like there's a lot of... Wait, do you mean like one of the small ones or like the 60-pack with the sharpener?
Let's say a small
I'm not about to
one.
be in any basic crayon box. Let's get that straight.
I would be like a yellowy greenish color. I feel like those are like... I feel like it's like a color that people don't use enough, but like I love that color so much.
I feel like I would be like a red that's like kind of like a little bit darker than like a really bright red. So I'm the red they always forget about. So my point is pretty new. Like they start using me as the red and they're like, oh no, I want that crimson one. The crimson one's gonna show up better. So I feel like I would be like the forgotten red of the crayon box.
Do you want to go on our comments from some of our videos that we did together and just ask some of the questions that are on there? Maybe like the first one, because that might have the most.
Yeah.
Someone asked, when's the wedding?
For who?
Both of you.
Us?
Yeah.
I'm afraid we're gonna have to wait a little while for that.
Hello, Simon. When is your musical note 6x6 stamp being restocked? This is from Beth Miller.
This is a good question. Let me check if it's restocked. That stamp sold out like crazy. Like we were not expecting that at all. And so it is restocked right now on rangerinc.com. And if you use code Simon20, you can get 20% off your purchase at checkout, which is really cool too. So go run and grab that. At the time of filming this, it's in stock. It might go out again, but they keep restocking it there, or you can check scrapbook.com and places like that for the stamp as well.
Ooh, I might need to get it.
Oh yeah. It's a fun background. I think you know somebody. I think you might know somebody who can get it for you.
Oh, I have ins in this industry. I don't know how long it takes pumpkins to fall apart.
Yeah.
But I remember the last pumpkin I made was in high school because I committed to Minnesota and I wanted to make a Minnesota pumpkin and I wanted to carve the M in, but I messed up the carving and I was like, I'm going to cut around the M so the M is dark.
Gosh.
And then I was like, how is the M going to stay up if I carve around it? So I had to put toothpicks in to hold it into place, and when it started to decompose, it got real bad. It was a pretty sad pumpkin by then. I mean, it was a sad pumpkin to begin with. So as we mentioned before, we have been trying to implement crafting into all of our holidays, not just Halloween. And something that I've mentioned in, I don't know if it was the other podcast or on my last video, but I am in charge of Thanksgiving this year and cooking it. And something I want to do is actually make name tags for all the spots at the dinner table. And I think I'm going to do a cute, deco foil name tag, or maybe some embossing, just something to make it look really pretty and cute and kind of tie in the whole fall theme together, because I always forget about how much stuff you can do with stamping that isn't making cards,
Yeah, I think so many times we get caught up in making just cards, but I think it's so cool to kind of expand from that and, like you said, make gift tags and use the stamps for other things too, which is really awesome.
When school started last year, I remember for all my binders I made little title sheets for all the binders with stamping stuff. And then for all my study cards, for some of my study cards this week, get this, I use the mandala maker to indicate certain symbols.
Oh,
so
nice.
I use specific little symbols in the mandala maker to make to help me remember things. And because it's such a fun thing to do, and I love the mandala maker, it was easier for me to remember all the symbols and what they meant.
So now you hear that, you can help your kids study with the crafting products, which is cool.
Crafting products will help your children in school. This is science.
Mm-hmm.
Proven.
It's a proven fact now.
Well, maybe not. I still have to get my test grades back. We'll let you know. Painting is a whole different beast.
I cannot mix colors for the life of me. Alicia mixed my colors beforehand, but I just got a brown by mixing red and green.
I think it'd be easy to make brown, But I feel a lot of times, if you mix a lot of paint, it ends up being mauve or that kind of color, because I feel reds are usually stronger.
Mauve?
Mauve, is that a color?
Mauve?
Mauve.
Mauve.
Ooh.
It's mauve.
Ouch. Well, I think we know my art history grade at this point. Oh my gosh, Simon, it's so cute. I might have to repaint this later on with some detail, but we're just doing...
that's cool.
It's fun though, yeah.
I like that. It's bright.
It looks like candy. Look at it on the overhead. It looks shiny, and it is wet, so...
Oh my gosh, I think it's hilarious. Your brand now has just become you just messing up, and I just saw on the other day on Instagram, I think you might have reposted it, but there's just people filming you at the class, Rina in her typical habitat messing up. And
little do they know I'm ready
struggling
to
with
cry
the camera.
from stress. Oh yeah. I remember I was teaching a class once with my mom, and I taught the technique wrong, and everybody in the class did it wrong, and I was like,
oh my gosh.
ta-da,
It's done.
But I was like, you know what? This is what my brand is, and I'm not going to apologize for it. Certainly not going to apologize for art. I didn't mess up the project. I just definitely gave them the wrong stamp to use.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. With my classes, I like to just kind of let them have free reign some of the times. Some of the times I'll just kind of show them the project, show them how to do it, and show them really the technique. And then I just let them grab whatever stamp they want from that set.
Yeah.
So that way it's I love having people just use kind of whatever they want, because then they end up with, whatever card they decided to create at the end of class. And then you have everybody did the same technique or used the inks in the same way and used the same stamp set, but you might have used different images, which I think is super cool to see everybody's cards at the end then.
I made the very smart decision of wearing a brand new shirt to film today, so we're going to hope that doesn't backfire. I was learning about, in my art history class, what they used for paint, and I think it's called, I don't think it's called fresco, I think it's tempera. and they used to mix it with egg yolks.
Oh my gosh.
To like make it like thicker and like give it more, and it was like
some
fast drying.
salmonella.
Yeah, it was very strange. Not vegan, but nonetheless some of the best paintings in the world.
Wow.
The most famous ones have been used with egg yolks. So I messed up my color scheme per usual, because you saw me count them. Like you saw me, I needed 5 colors because there's 10 like little ridges or whatever in this, and I did 4 colors, and I'm not pleased with this. Also, green and pink are not easy to mix. Painting tip. Have you ever been to one of those haunted houses where they
No,
like?
not yet.
It's very stressful. I was always the friend that didn't have a boy to cling
Oh my
to.
gosh.
I was like the 9th person in the group, so I'd always be back, and I always just be bitter because I don't like spending money on negative emotion, and that is just like straight up what that is.
Yeah.
So I remember we went to one, and I had to sign a waiver. It was one of those that you had to sign a waiver because they could touch you and stuff. And I was like,
oh my gosh.
guys, I don't know about this. And all my friends had their boyfriends. They're like, it's going to be fine. I'm like, well, of course it's going to be fine for you. But whatever. And so we're halfway through this, and we are walking around this cornfield. And it's like a U shape. So you walk around it, and then you leave the cornfield. But I got taken by this guy who was in the corn, and he walked me through the cornfield to the other side where they were walking, and they pushed me out in front of him. And they were all like, whoa. But it was kind of fun because I got to be a part of it, and kind of was some payback for making me go alone.
That's awesome. I haven't been to haunted houses because, okay, I went to Fright Fest at Six Flags with my friends, which was fun. But I hate that, like, I don't know, haunted houses are not, like you said, like, I don't like to pay for my own negative emotion.
Well, they also just, like, don't seem, like, I don't want, like...
They don't seem safe.
They don't seem safe, and I don't want something to happen to me, something to fall on my head, and them just be like, oh, get up, actor. Like,
Yeah.
that's not anything, and then I'm
Exactly.
dead in this haunted house. And
Or
nobody
somebody
can take me
joins in and
seriously.
nobody knows because they think that it's a joke or an actor.
Or they're just like, shut up, Rina. Like,
Okay, so I painted Artie, the little bear, and then I painted my little colorful logo on the side. I love this. What a fun idea.
yes, I painted mine. Look at mine. Mine looks like a candy one.
That looks amazing.
I mean, the bottom is kind of a little messy, but we're not going to pay attention to that. I'm just going to leave it
That's so
like
cool.
that. Isn't that
I love how
fun?
bright it is.
Later on, once it dries, I want to take some purple tape, and I want to tape along the seams here and add like white lines and make it look real pretty and even.
Definitely.
But right now, I really like how this looks. This is
Yeah.
fun. I've never painted pumpkins before.
Neither have I.
I've
I've
only-
only carved them.
Yeah, I've only carved them, and it's always a lot to do. That's always way messier. Can you imagine if we were carving pumpkins right now?
Oh my gosh.
Misha moving all of our...
Feed me, she
Yeah.
the seeds as we go.
He's like running away with the seeds. Yeah, it would not be fun. So these are our finished pumpkins. As you can see, Simon, oh my gosh, it's so cute.
It's
I didn't
a
know
little
you did that too. Okay, well mine is just been sectioned off and painted accordingly, and I also messed up in the process, so that's mine. But yeah, we had a lot of fun today. I love
Definitely.
this was so relaxing and fun.
Yeah.
But something that is missing from our podcast, because as much as I love to talk to Simon about his life, we want to talk to you guys and answer the things that you guys want to know.
So we'll have a link down below in the description where you guys can fill out a form to ask us any questions and submit your thoughts because we want you to be a part of this as well. So even if we have guests on here, we'll have a little segment each episode where we can answer some of your questions because we want to answer all the things you want to know about us as well.
Yeah, and it might make us go on rants about other stuff that we wouldn't have otherwise thought about talking about. So please submit stuff, and we would love to hear from you guys.
We're always still learning about our podcast as well, so be sure to leave your comments and ideas down below. One of the things we're going to do when we have guests on now is invite them over the phone on the podcast or in person if they can make it, and then we'll be crafting with some of the products that they have sent us from their line. So you guys get to see their style of the line and things like that as we're talking about it with them, which is really awesome.
So let us know who you'd want to see, what you want us to talk about, and what you want us to craft, and we'll do that.
Definitely.
So thanks again for watching. We appreciate you guys so much for supporting the Stamp With Us podcast. I love hanging out with you as always.
You
and
too.
We'll see you guys in the next one.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye.